Hi all, thank you for the immense support that you've given for the past videos on frequently asked questions for the speaking module. We are here with yet another video. In today's video, we'll discuss certain frequently asked questions by our students for the listening test. Meanwhile, if you haven't watched our video on frequently asked questions for the speaking test, we'll pin a link in the description box below. So please watch that video too and support us. Okay, Alfonso. So the first question for today's video is about the duration of the listening test. So what exactly is the duration for the listening test?
Okay, Abhishek, it depends upon the test that the candidate chooses. In case of computer-based test, it is 30 plus 2. That means the audio will be played for first 30 minutes. They will listen to the audio, they'll answer the questions, then they have 2 minutes to check the answers.
Okay, so for computer-based test, it's just 2 minutes that they get to recheck their answers.
Exactly. Now for the pen and paper-based, they have 30 plus 10 minutes. 30 minutes, same, the audio they'll be listening and they'll have to write the answers in the question booklet. They'll have extra 10 minutes to copy the answers to the answer sheet.
So is it quite okay to write down the answers on the question booklet and later transfer it to the answer sheet?
Exactly, that's what we have to do. They do not allow us to write it on the answer sheet. Rather, we have to write it in the question booklet. Now, during this 10 minutes time, you have to copy the answers and write on the answer sheet.
Okay.
They will not be evaluating the question booklet. That's something very important and our students don't understand.
So they are not going to check what you've written on the question booklet?
No, not at all.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so you mentioned about writing down answers on the question booklet, but when it comes to the computer-based test, where can a candidate write down the answers?
In case of computer-delivered test, candidates are supposed to type the answers onto the computer. They are not writing anything on the question booklet, right? So there is no need of copying it. That's the reason they have 2 minutes. That's what we had discussed before, right? We only have 2 minutes because directly they are typing it on the computer.
So I have another question, because this is commonly asked by our students. For the computer-based listening test, will they provide a question paper, or will that question paper be visible on screen?
No question paper will be provided. Rather, the questions will be visible, and we have different sections and different questions. All these questions you can access at any point of time.
All right, so the question will be displayed on the computer screen and not on a piece of paper?
No.
All right.
But you will be given a piece of paper to write down notes and everything. If you want, you can use it.
All right. Okay. So which is better? Is it better to take a computer-based test or a pen and paper-based test when it comes to the listening module?
Okay, Abhishek, it depends, because if you're not familiar with computer, in order to click the type in the keyboard or to look at the screen, it's all difficult, right? If it's a new thing to you, it is always better you choose pen and paper based. And if you're familiar with it, it's always good if you can use computer delivered. And there is an advantage, you'll get your results within 4 to 5 days.
All right.
So if anybody, if they're in the hurry, then in that case, if they're familiar with computer, they can go for it.
Again, it's not all about the speedy results that you can get, but always bear in mind that you should, that the candidate should have some knowledge about computers. They should have good typing speed.
Typing speed, that's very important.
That's very important again.
Because in case of writing also, typing speed is really important because you have to type 250 words within the given time limit.
Yes, that's again a point there.
Yes.
Next question. Is it mandatory to use uppercase letters when I write an answer for the listening test? That's our next question.
So we were talking about computer delivered test, right? This capital letter is really important. Writing in capital letters is really important because there are certain rules in English, capitalization rules. For example, if I'm writing a person's name, the name of a country, or in case of a particular holiday, for example, Christmas, many of the students are not aware that they have to start the first letter as capital letter. In those cases, they will write C, small letter for Christmas itself, and that answer will be considered wrong. In order to avoid these mistakes, always write the whole answer in capital letter. Now, in case of computer delivered test, We all know that there is something called caps lock. When you click the caps lock button, everything you write will be in capital letter. So it is easy for you. And it is more neat when you write in capital letter. It is easy for them to read if it is a pen and paper based. So overall, I always tell students to write in capital letters.
So is it mandatory or is it better to write in caps?
It is not mandatory. It's just a recommendation from our side. If you write it, it is good. That's it.
All right. Okay. So our next question is about using pens and pencils for the test. Or when I note down my answers for the listening test, should I use a pencil?
Always a pencil. There is no question in that, because on the day of examination also you will not be allowed, or it is better to write with pencil in the question booklet also. As we all know that it is difficult for us to write with pencil in a bit fast manner, right? Have you ever noticed that?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Indeed.
So during the practice sessions and also for the examination, when you write the answers in the question booklet also, make sure that you write it with pencil. And it is mandatory to write the answers in the answer sheet with pencil itself.
Right. So your recommendation is that while they practice at home, they should practice with pencils.
Exactly.
In order to improve their writing speeds.
Yes.
All right. So the next question is, will I be able to listen to the audio twice for my listening test when it comes to the actual test?
No, it's not possible. You will not be able to listen to the recording twice. That will be played only once. And for the first time itself, when you listen, you have to note down the answers very carefully in the question booklet. One more point is that on the table, you will have a small device by which you can adjust the volume. Okay, this should be done right before the exam. Never do it during the examination, because if in case we are trying to increase the volume and then we are doing it in the wrong direction, it will create a mess. Okay, never try or attempt anything like that.
So again, one more question related to this. So will it be possible for us to check the headphones and check whether it's working? Will they play a sample recording before the actual test?
Yes, definitely. They'll be playing a sample audio. So during that time, you can check if the headphones is working. In case there is some problem, you should never stand from your position or move from your position. Rather, you just have to raise your hand, then the invigilator will come and support you.
All right. So that's again a very good information for our candidates. Okay, Alfonso. So the next question is about making a spelling mistake. If I make a spelling mistake, will my answer be wrong?
Of course, it will be considered as a wrong answer. In case of spelling, you can either write American or British. That is, for example, in case of the spelling of color, British spelling is C-O-L-O-U-R, and for American, it is C-O-L-O-R. So either you can write British or American, that doesn't matter, but spelling should always be right. But one thing that you have to remember, when you write or when you follow American or British one style consistently, that should be the way that you follow for the rest of the answers. You should keep this in mind, not only for listening, but also for your writing test.
Okay. So this is our next question. Which accent should I expect for my listening test?
We were talking about spellings, right? Yes. So likewise for the accent also, we have American, we have British, and also we have the Australian accent. If you're not familiar with any of these, you have to continuously listen to these accents, familiarize yourself, because certain pronunciations are difficult. Certain words that they say, it is very difficult for us to identify and understand. So it's always better if you can listen to those audios, accustom to it a little bit before your examination.
Right. So here is the next question. How can I improve my listening skills?
We were talking about it, right? Listening to podcasts. This is one of the best ways by which you can improve your listening skills. Other than that, you can also watch videos, English videos. That's one thing that you have to keep in mind. Never switch on the subtitles. Always remember the captions must be off when you listen to or watch videos, so that you will not be directly reading those subtitles. Rather, you will try to listen it, and it's definitely going to be difficult in the initial days. Yes, because we are not native speakers. We will definitely have that difficulty in interpreting things, right? So never give up. Initially, even if you're not understanding things, it's perfectly fine. That's how it works for everybody, right?
Yes, that's true. So will it be better if I watch a specific type of videos that I like? For example, I like to watch automobile videos. So if I continuously watch automobile videos, will it be better to improve my listening skills?
I don't think that's a good idea because you will only be covering that particular topic, right? For the listening, you can get any topic. So it's always better if you can listen to some news channels, for instance, BBC. That would be a good suggestion. So it is never a good idea to just focus on one particular topic that we like. Rather,
Alright.
we have to focus on all the
to
other.
familiarize with
Yes,
different words.
yes.
All right, okay. Okay, so here is our next question. How many parts are there for the listening test?
For listening test, we have 4 parts. Part 1, most probably we get form completion. In total, we have 10 questions to answer. The questions will not be, you will not have to answer it at one stretch. Rather, it will be subdivided into 2 parts. So you'll have to read questions from 1 to 10, listen to the audio, answer it, and then the next set of questions. Likewise, till part 3. Then we have part 4, wherein you will have sentence completion. That is nothing but fill in the blanks. That 10 questions, you will not have a separate time. Rather, you will have to read the questions together and you'll have to answer it. So basically, we have 4 parts, part 1, 2, 3 and 4. There will be differences in the way that the questions will be asked and the time limit also. The speed also tend to increase when you reach to part 4. When it is part 1, it will be a bit slower. When it comes to part 4, it will be a bit faster.
Right, so you mentioned about sentence completion and form completion. What are the other types of questions that students can expect for the listening test?
Other than sentence completion in part 4 and form completion in part 1, they can also get multiple choice questions.
Right.
That also you can get in 2 ways. One in part 2, that will be short. In part 3, it will be long. Other than that, they can also get map questions. A diagram will be given. It can be a building or a picture that some parts will be labeled, some will be missing. And regarding the question types, you can also get match the following questions. These are some frequently asked questions and difficult types. Other than that also we have many, but these are the most frequently asked.
All right. So here's the next question. For the listening test, are there any negative marks for a wrong answer?
No, we don't have any negative marking. So one thing that I tell students is that they should always try and give an answer. They should guess the answer even if they don't know at the end, because we have 10 minutes time for pen and paper based.
Right, yes.
Yes, so there is no negative marking. Give it a try, and if it is right, we will get 1 point, right?
Oh yes, especially for multiple choice questions.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
it's better to guess.
Multiple choice, or in case of map questions also, you're supposed to write letters. Wherever you have letters to be written, it's always good that you write something. If in case it's right, you'll get the
Right.
mark.
So this is the next question. Will articles be counted as a word when I write down an answer for the listening test?
Of course, not only articles but also prepositions. Each and everything will be counted. So if you write an apple, it will be counted as 2 words. Or if you write at the hospital, at is 1 word, the hospital, second and third word. So in total, 3 words. This is something that you should always keep in mind. Not only articles but also prepositions will be counted.
Okay, so here is our final question. Which is the most difficult part for the listening test?
I think that would be multiple choice questions from part 3 and map questions.
Okay, so can you suggest a few tips and tricks to perform well for multiple choice and map questions?
Let's talk about multiple choice questions first.
Yes.
Keywords are really important. If in the question they have talked about building and renovation, some renovation that they are planned immediately. Now the keyword is immediately, right? In the options, they will be given something that they are planning to do after 20 years, something they had done before 10 years.
Right.
But we have to focus on what are they going to plan immediately, right? So we should not be confused. So keywords are really important in case of multiple choice questions.
Right. So how about maps?
Regarding maps, I'll just ask you a question. If you hear the word past the bridge, what do you understand?
Over the bridge.
This is one misconception most of the students have. This doesn't mean that we should go over the bridge. Rather, you have the bridge on the side, but we are walking just forward.
All right.
All right. So that keyword, past the bridge. maybe this is the first time we are also listening to it. So understanding keywords of maps is really important for getting a good score.
All right, so whether be it maps or MCQ, it's very important to focus on the keywords.
Yes, exactly. I hope I was able to give you some insights about a listening module.
If you liked our video, please feel free to subscribe our channel. Also, we'll list out few important videos that we have took in the past in the description box below. Do subscribe and share our video with your friends. Thank you so much once again for watching.
Thank you.